All right, everyone. This is DeagleBeagle. So today, guess what we're gonna go over? We're gonna go over the Orlando Regionals and the TopCut teams. So this is gonna be a pretty long video. You can skip through whatever you want to skip through, but I'm gonna cover my opinions on the team building on every single team, even though I haven't really used their teams specifically or asked them why they use this or that, but I can just think about what they've used and give my own opinions about it. So, and by the way, some people they're great battlers and they're good team builders or even great team builders, but like everyone may overlook something or not notice a mistake. Like I notice I make a lot of team building kind of mistakes. Like I should have used whatever safety goggles instead of Terra Grass, maybe with a Pokemon, or just little changes might fix up these teams. So the teams obviously though are pretty good, pretty standard, or just they make sense. But let's go through it one by one. So Amelia Forbes, the Pokey Paste. I'll probably go with the Pokey Paste because I'm unfamiliar with the Arcanine Labs like team sheets. Because I can't just glance. I guess I can kind of glance at this and see what's going on, but it's just harder for a little bit harder for me because I'm not used to the format. So I'm just gonna go with the PokePaste stuff as long as they have. Yeah, they have. I think PokePaste for all of it, so I'll just do that. So let's go to Emilio Forbes. I don't know if it's a he or she because it says Emily. Anyways, Focus Sash. A lot of people are using Focus Sash with Terra Ground because you don't need a defensive Terra as much if you use Focus Sash, and it's good for Headlong Rush in close combat so you don't die after the stat drops. The main problem with ground though is that you can get Will-O-Wisp, and Arcanine outspeeds it. But maybe they're thinking, well, hopefully we can set up Tailwind, outspeed it, or just take it or protect against it or Headlong Rush it, or just hope they're not Jolly, hope that they're Adamant or something. But I think people should probably be using Jolly Arcanine, like maybe not max speed completely, but like enough to outspeed a Great Tusk at least. Now, I've been seeing a lot of these Terra Ghost Talonflames, which I don't know if I agree with. It's good for getting up Fake Out, but normally, well, that's one play style. You can lead with Talonflame to set up the Tailwind, but normally I like saving it for the back so that you don't have to worry about Fake Out. You don't have to use a Terra just to beat the Fake Out, and you can Brave Bird them when they're already weakened and set up Tailwind in the back. Like speed control is better in the back, but some people they like to use it in the front, just outspeed everything and use Terra Ghost. So that's fine, I guess, for them. But for me personally, I wouldn't do that. And another thing, I guess Talonflame is faster than Flesh Ender, but if you're going to use a set like that, you almost want to use Fleshinder because it has way higher, way more bulk. Like with Eviolite, you could use that same set. You wouldn't be as fast though with Taunt and Will-O-Wisp, so I guess it wouldn't work the same. But you could use Ascent. What did you, Taunt, Brave Bird, Tailwind, and Will-O-Wisp? Okay, whatever, Tailwind. So you could use something like that and it would do pretty well, and then give it some bulk, whatever. Okay, but if you really need a fast whatever Brave Bird after you lose Gale Wings or this or that, so it's fine, nothing wrong with it. And then Booster Energy, a lot of people are using Terra Ice now, I think, because they realize that Hydro Pump accuracy is bad, and they use ice moves a lot and could use a boost on that. So, Sandy Shocks and other Pokemon, I'm not sure. Well, they probably are a little bit worse now that people are using Terra Ice more commonly on Iron Bundle. And Taunt with Flutter Mane, that's fine. Assurance, Iron Head, Sucker Punch, Terra Blast. Assurance is actually a really good move because 120 power is just crazy, and it has really low speed, so you're very likely to get an Assurance off a lot of times. Specs. Yeah, nothing wrong with this team that I can really see. I would have to look to see exactly what it beats and whatnot, but it doesn't seem that bad. I just don't know about its Trick Room matchup. How he stops Trick Room from going up. Like, he has Taunt and stuff, and he does have Sucker Punch, but they could use Psychic Train. I think I saw him use it versus Indeedee Armourouge, and I don't know if he tried to stall it out or what, but somehow he won. And he does have Talonflame. But like I said, if they use Psychic Train with Hard Trick Room, I don't know. I feel like I could beat Emilio Forbes if I used my Hard Trick Room team because he couldn't wall it with his team. I can just tell. And he would lose. So I think he or she, whatever, is lucky that he didn't go up against a Hard Trick Room team that was actually like really good and used by someone that was really good, but maybe I'm wrong. I just think I could sweep this team with my Hard Trick Room team. But overall, it looks pretty good other than that. And also, like Canrock, Tar could put this team in trouble, but he does have Great Tusk, which is a great check for that. So it seems like a really well-balanced team. Okay, let's go to... By the way, I'm never knocking these people because they're a lot more successful than I probably would have been. TopCut in like the biggest Pokemon event ever, I think. So that's pretty impressive. And Emilio Forbes has had the best record in as far as win losses go in tournaments. It seems like this year at least, and previous tournaments he's done really well. So Tatsugiri. Okay, Sleep Talk. I guess if you're put asleep. Okay. I don't know about that. Because by the time Tatsugiri, well, it depends. I guess if you use it when it's not in the back with Dondozo, then it's fine. You could switch into it, take a Spore, Sleep Talk. Yeah, that's actually a good idea because it can't do much else besides a Water and a Dragon move and maybe an Icy Wind. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, the beat up strategy. Yeah, the beat up strategy is actually pretty good if you use Protect Mouse Hold. If you don't use Protect Mouse Hold, then they can just keep hitting the mouse hold slot and just take out everything that's their ally of the ape. So let's see the team though. Overall, pretty good. This person's a singles player. Like, they do play doubles sometimes, but it seems like all they talk about is singles or compete about. I've never heard about this person, but he has like over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. This Freezeye guy. So he's a nobody in the VGC world, but he's really popular in the Pokemon YouTuber world, I guess. Okay, so it's just funny because somebody could have 3 million subscribers on YouTube for a Pokemon channel, and we would never hear about it if they never played VGC or never hopped on the VGC server or entered a VGC tournament. So I think this is Frieza's first tournament. So yeah, props to him for being second in the TopCut for his first tournament. Dang. I really like Struggle Bug on Volcarona. That's a really good move. Sash is good for consistency. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the next team. Oh, actually, Super Fang. Yeah, I guess it's more good versus 8, but if you're using it with Fluttermane, if you use like Dazzling Gleam would already outspeed them and weaken them, and then Super Fang would be worse. But Super Fang, even with Fluttermane, might be good in case you Moonblast one target and Super Fang the other or whatever. Who knows? And then Yodam. I'm going to go through these a little bit faster actually because there's 32 of them I'm going to go over. So, flying, good defensively, bad offensively. That's why I prefer Psychic. But if you just need something defensively and you don't want to really hit their Iron Hands hard, or you don't need to hit their Iron Hands hard, then that's fine. Life Orb kind of puts Great Tusk in jeopardy on the special side, especially without a defensive Terra, because they're just using ground. But it would pick up more kills, like versus even if it was intimidated. Covert Cloak. I suppose that's a good idea for Fake Out and other stuff. Snarl. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea with Fluttermane. Oh, actually, Covert Cloak. It stops Icy Wind speed drops, huh? Yeah, that's actually really nice. I should try that. I should really try that. I'm gonna have to write that down somewhere. What was it? No, I already tried this. This idea sucks. Kind of. Covert Cloak, Iron Bundle, or Mons in general. Like, preventing the Icy Wind and the... Okay, that's... Yeah. See, Covert Cloak is good versus so many things. Snarl, Icy Wind, Fake Out. That I need to really test it more. And then Sharp Beak. Sharp Beak is a good item if you're just running Brave Bird, but if you also want Flare Blitz, then you might want to use Life Orb. I'm a power player, so I like to just use like Life Orb on it, but this set is fine too. I like Protect on Talonflame also how I play, because I don't know, it just seems like if you don't have Protect, then they can just kill Talonflame when you might need it to set up Trick Room or do something the following turn. So, but overall, this team might work the way it is. I see a lot of people using Will-O-Wisp with Terra Ghost and Taunt. So I suppose it's good to have a Ghost type taunter so they can't be fake outed and taunt their Trick Roomer or whatever. And I've seen a lot of Goth too. I think people try to pivot around it. It's not bad. And Fluttermane, Terra Steel. Steel to me is about as good as Fire on Fluttermane. Steel might be a little bit better defensively if you're not running Mystical Fire. It seems like it might make sense. Booster energy? Yeah, so nothing wrong with it. Another life. Wait, is this the same team? Yeah, I think people are sharing teams because I keep seeing like a lot of the same stuff. And we've seen a lot of loaded dice Brute Bonnet. I was saying that Brute Bonnet has terrible defensive typing, and that the only way to make it good would be like use a defensive Terror type with it. And I did recommend Fairy in my Brute Bonnet video. I mean, people can come up with this stuff on their own too, but I just wonder how many people are watching my videos, because I did have a lot of videos on this stuff, like the best loaded dice Pokemon and etc. So hopefully it's helping out the community. It looks like it is, even though, like I said, they could have came up with it on their own. This looks somewhat standard. Dark is good versus the Mirror, Armor Rouge and DD and other stuff. Is it really gonna take forever to load? Yeah, I think everyone's like trying to access it, so it's just taking a while to load. So the next one is Carson Confer, Safety Goggles, Sylveon, huh? Just to stop a spore. I guess. Side cup. Stuff like that seems kind of gimmicky, though. I think he did. See, that's what I gotta test out is the Parish Song Fluttermane with the Tatsugiri, and then you switch in Dondozo, and then eventually Tatsugiri dies, and then you have two attackers on the field. That's not a bad strategy, but it's kind of predictable. And then Goldango often gets countered, but overall, this team's not bad. I would have to know how to use Dondozo Tatsugiri more to give more opinions about it. I generally know there's a lot of different options you can do with it, a lot of different mind games, so I think that's a big reason why the combo is still really good. Okay, Paul Chua, he said he built this team with AI Team Builder or something, and it's like a Japanese website that you can type in the name though, and it'll bring like you type in the American name and it'll bring you to the Japanese name, and then you can make a team. So that's probably why it looks so generic. But like, see, that's the problem. That's what my biggest problem with Pokemon is that people can just use random good Pokemon together and do well, really well with it. And it's like, I don't know. I like to come up with a flow chart type of team, like a team that actually you had to put effort into, like creativity and innovation into, not just spamming the same old standard stuff with everything. And that's what this team looks like. Because I know he was saying he didn't know what to use. So it's funny. He asked a robot to tell him what to use, the AI team builder. Dark Amoonguss is good against psychic moves. They're very common now. Psychic moves didn't used to be nearly as common, but with everyone using Armarouge or this or that, I could see Dark being really good on Amoonguss. Booster energy. I don't know if he was speed raising or attack raising nature or stat for booster energy, but overall the team looks pretty good. Just really standard and boring though. And then Aditya Subramanian, his team, Eisenhand. Wait, I think he copied that from Nick Navarre. Yeah, because they're buddies. So that means in German it means Eisen means, doesn't it mean stone? No, Einstein. One Einstein means Eisen means I think hewer or something like that. Eisen in German. Yeah. Oh yeah, iron. I was thinking iron hands. Yeah, but I was thinking Eisenhower. Okay, Hauer is hewer, like a person that works with stones or whatever, or other things. And then let's see this. The problem with water Amoonguss though is that you can get freeze dried and super affected even if you Terra. So I don't personally recommend water with Amoonguss. I've been saying even in Series 1 you should use rock because it resists flying and fire that's trying to super affect it, and it gets the sandstorm boost. So some people like water though because it's like bland typing, it's just not weak to that much after you Terra. But like in this meta with freeze dry, I especially wouldn't use water, and I never thought water was like the best Terra for Amoonguss because it only resists like what, fire. So that's to me kind of dumb. I don't get why people use that, but maybe there's a good reason for it. Like I was saying, it's just good defensive typing in general. But when you're gonna get freeze dried, it doesn't help. And then I'm wondering why it's steel over dark. Steel is fine too. I guess it has a lot of resistances. Nothing wrong with it. It's just you're not gonna resist like anything that's trying to super affect it though, like dark or ghost or yeah, ghost or whatever. So I don't get the steel personally. So I disagree with that unless they can explain themselves. Then Terra Water too. I mean, Hydro Pump missing is like, do you really want to Terra Water and then risk missing? Well, it's good defensively though. That's like defensively also. So there's nothing wrong with Water. Water is a really good Terra with Iron Bundle. It's one of the best Terras, especially if you're not using Sash. If you're using Sash, then probably more inclined to run Terra Ice for the freeze dry because you can't really rely on the accuracy of Hydro Pump. But if you're using booster energy, then water makes sense. Okay, we're seeing a lot of no electric move. Maybe you don't need one, but that just seems really weird. He's not using electric. He must Terra a lot. And fire though, fire is good against the Will-O-Wisp, so I understand that and stuff, but you're still weak to a ground move when you Terra Fire. So like that's not going to help you at all versus Great Tusk. I keep wanting to call it Iron Tusk, but overall, I suppose it's a pretty good team. He probably uses Terra Dark for the Snarl and to help counter like Indeedee Armorage, and then Wolfie Glick. He's using Perish Trap. Oh my god! And look at the nicknames. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of people that use Perish Trap, even though he knows how to use it better than a lot of other people. That's like what he's known for, like his specialty or signature stuff is like Perish Trap, like trying to get cheap wins on people by like just protecting either twice in a row or happening to have a team that counters them or doing really weird predictions with a Perish Trap team and trying to like barely stall out a kill or something with it. So overall, the team looks alright though. Turn water. Yeah, the team is alright. Nick Navarre. Okay, yeah, see, they just copy each other, their little group of those 4, 5, 6 people. So I already went over this team that did, yeah. And this team, Stonejourner. Wow, he did really well with Stonejourner. So the power spot ability, I think, boosts your ally by 30%. So it's almost like a helping hand without you having to use a move. So that's not bad. And it does get Wide Guard, Rockslide, Locate, Protect. That's pretty good. Wonder what he used it with, though. I don't know about... excuse me. I don't know what he used it with. Maybe Flutter Mane, but... yeah, he could Protect versus the Fake Out. Not bad, I guess. He could switch it in to get some extra kills that you normally couldn't. Like switch it in from the back, and if you just need that extra 30% to kill something, you could. So overall, pretty good. Covert Cloak. Oh, that must be for the Snarl mostly and the Fake Out. Yeah, to set up, that's a pretty good item on Armorage. Because like the only thing that was counter me that I remember was Snarl. That's why I had to use Competitive Goth, but I forgot I could just use Covert Cloak on a Pokemon instead to set up Trick Room. So Competitive Goth may not be necessary. Even though Covert Cloak is kind of the same idea where it's like kind of, it might be useless unless they use certain things. And then this person, the King Villager, has consistently done well in tournaments. Even though I beat him on the ladder all the time. Perish Trap type of, or no, not Perish, but I mean Shadow Tag type of teams. Yeah, I face his teams a lot. He usually used to use Garganical, but now I guess he uses this. Well, I don't know. I guess people did do well with Dragonite. Yeah, Terra Flying is probably how I would use it, because otherwise it just doesn't seem offensive enough overall. And Dragon Dance, yeah, that could put the pressure on them with Lumberry and not get burned. So I could see that. It does get intimidated, but it has Lumberry versus Arcanine and Dragon Dance to counter that. So that's actually a pretty good set on Dragonite. I might have to try that out. I'm just going to try it out. I'll fix it later. Alright. Terra Blast. Yeah, that's pretty standard. Heavy Slam. I think I know why he uses that. Because if Fluttermane Terra Fairies or something, then you can't hit it neutral with a crunch anymore. So Heavy Slam is a good um, move with it. And then who's the next person? Kyle Livinghouse. Assault Vest Ice Spinner is a pretty good way to counter Indeedee Armourouge. I was talking about this. And Quiver Dance, Moth in general is kind of underrated. Even though it's 4 times weak to Rock Slide. Okay, let's go. There's not much to say about this team. It all kind of is standard or makes sense. Covert Cloak, though, he probably used it for the Snarl for Goldango. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm going to try to go through these really fast. I'm just surprised at all the Brute Bonnet because with all its weaknesses and you having to Terra to often make it good, I'm just surprised. But I suppose people think Spore is a really good move in the open team sheets and can play around that. Even though this type of set looks more like he should have ran Amoonguss instead. Because all it has is crunch that's different and more speed and attack. But I don't know. Probably could run Amoonguss. But maybe it's better on this team. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm just going to open these ahead of time. Okay, Wu Yichan. Seems like everyone's running and flying with Tar. I guess that makes sense defensively. But then when you Terra Flied versus Iron Hands, you're weak to their Wild Charge. It's like, and you don't do that much to it. So that's why I preferred Psychic personally. But I could see that versus ground moves too, to use Terra Flying. So there's nothing wrong with it. Dang, so much Covert Cloak, Iron Bundle. I don't know why I didn't see any of that, really. Very rarely did I ever see it. And yeah, everyone seems to copy each other. Like, all this stuff is... Somebody must have passed some sheet around. Because too much of this stuff is freaking the same. Like... Booster Energy... Calm Mind? Oh, Calm Mind, that's a good idea. Even though you already have a lot of special defense. It would be good for putting pressure on them offensively. A lot of people are using Volcarona. All this stuff seems so standard though. This regional seemed really boring. Like, I didn't see hardly any innovation. Just people using the same BS over and over again. Garchomp is interesting. With, yeah, Sandvale, that's a good idea. Drifblim. Yeah, I guess it's good for a fast Tailwind. Even though you could just use Booster Energy Tailwind. Like a Booster Energy Roaring Moon or something. So, I don't know. But it does have Haze, I suppose, for the... That's kind of a weird way to counter what he's weak to, using a Drifblim to counter the Dondozo and other stuff in Tailwind. But I guess it makes sense or could work. Very standard stuff again. Boring team. I don't see anything that's even unique. So, next team. Wait, drum beating? I think that's not even a move that it gets. I think that was a mistype. Isn't that a move that Rillaboom gets? Let me see. No tier. Okay, no format. Okay, drum beating. Is he Rillaboom? Yeah. What the heck? I'm gonna ask Anton Galkin. Maybe he had a problem with his team sheet, or he changed it for his team sheet, but it's wrong on Showdown. I don't know. I think it probably meant to be something else. Who knows? Okay, Eviolite. That's pretty standard, but the problem with Sunny Day, or just sun in general, is it boosts their photosynthesis too. So yeah, you could use it like to wall Water Moose with his 2 water weak Pokemon and boost up the offense in the Great Tusk and the stat on the Flutter Mane, but it helps the other team. I already tried that, but apparently did really well anyways. I'm gonna move that one so I can save it. Okay. Stomping Tantrum, Belly Drum. Spicy. And then you heal your HP back with the drink. Yeah, that's really risky, but I suppose with Mouse Hold it might work. Some people are using Mouse Hold plus Flutter Mane, which is pretty good, except he's not using specs. Armorage and DD, yeah, that's good, but everyone's going to counter that. Somehow he still did pretty well. Fire probably for the Wisp. Wide lens for the Wisp. Is this Giovanni Costa? Yeah, it is. He's still using the same stuff as the last regional and barely changed anything, I guess. Covert Cloak for the Fake Out and the... What else is it for? Icy Wind Speed Drop? I don't know. I don't think Covert Cloak is a great item on Tusk, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something I'm not thinking of besides Fake Out and Icy Wind that it would be good for, but I'm just blanking out on it. I would have to ask Giovanni Costa. Let's see. Covert Cloak Tusk. I don't know about that. Meowscarada is not as good as it used to be. It gets outsped more. Okay. This team, very standard. Kind of looks, some of it, yeah, it looks like a mix and match of stuff other people are using too. Wait a minute. I need to go back to the Roaring Moon. But how did he use it? Flying? Oh, never mind. That's standard. But you could use other terrors with it. I don't know why there was so much of this specific kind of Volcarona with the Overheat, Struggle Bug, Rage Powder Protect. I guess it's good for like support, but I feel like, again, somebody's passing stuff around because I just don't feel like it's a coincidence. I don't know. Maybe it is, but I just think it's kind of fishy. Like the fact that so many people used Brute Bonnet, so many people used this Volcarona. Like, I just don't think that's a coincidence. Use like this type of King Ambit with the Salt Vest on the Dondozo Fluttermane team. Yeah, I think somebody's just copying someone else's team or something. There's a lot of Dondozos in cut because it does pretty well versus a lot of things. Except it does commonly get countered by Perish Song and stuff. So maybe that's also where Goldango comes in. Because it's immune to that. And it can switch out a Shadow Tag. So Brian Collins... He's also using belly drum. This looks kind of similar to Alex Underhill's team. See, I think these teams are getting passed around. Pounce? What? It does lower their speed, I guess. It's fine. Is using Sandy Shocks with Gravity? Max Gelman? Yeah, that's funny. Hypnosis is not bad because everyone's preparing for Spore. They're not preparing for Hypnosis, so that can actually put a lot of things to sleep, like their Amoonguss even or whatever. But the fact that you have to set up gravity is a problem because someone could just like fake you out or something. Brady Smith, huh? Well, well, well. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. There's not much to see there. Jaw lock is pretty interesting. I need to practice using jaw lock more with Pokemon that learn it. All these teams are so standard that it's just like boring. Like, who wants to play when? I guess it's fine, but to me, it just seems like there's no creativity though. Like my teams, I try to make them really innovative and creative. All these teams are just like a bunch of like good stuffs Pokemon that are all. I'm not gonna say slapped together, but that's what it feels like because they don't seem very flowcharty. Like it seems like just a lot of bunch of random good Pokemon together on the team that have good offensive and defensive synergy with each other. So I guess it's not completely random, but it's just at a glance it looks like it. Even though there are, wait, Armor without Indeedee? Maybe. Yeah, I was using Armor without Indeedee. I think I did use Expanding Force over Psychic though, in the hopes that if they have Psychic Train, I can piggyback off of that. But Psychic, yeah, might make more sense. Probably would, because they won't necessarily use Psychic Train. Fake Tears, yeah, with that Goth is a pretty good idea. I only have a couple more, then I gotta use the restroom and close out the video. Okay, the same Dondozo type of teams. Alright. Covert Cloak Amoonguss, yeah. We already know what Covert Cloak does. Screens could be useful. So, yeah, these teams were pretty boring, but at least they worked. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.